Oh, I think it happens way more often than we might think. I think over the last 10 years, there have been somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 deaths in trench collapses. This is a risk that has been known to us for decades that is completely preventable.
Just how do you feel about this?
Well, our hearts are broken for the Galvan Batalla family. We know that there is no outcome that we can achieve that will bring their loved one back or that will make them whole, but we are really hopeful and optimistic that we are taking a step in the right direction that is going to help the family with their healing process and also ensure that this doesn't happen to workers here in Travis County again.
The question that I've had from the beginning, even when you filed the charges, is why is it so hard to go after a company in a situation like this?
Well, the first reason is that it is often difficult to get a full and complete investigation of what happened. In this situation, we were very fortunate that the federal government, that OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, was able to do a complete investigation and then refer their findings to the district attorney's office. But without that initial step, we may not have gotten here.
And you say it's difficult. Is that because the company's trying to protect itself or cover things up, or just they've messed up what would be the crime scene?
Well, it's really a question of resources. Obviously, our law enforcement partners here in Travis County are focused on crimes of violence, all the things that we want them to work on. And at the same time, our counterparts in the federal government have dramatically cut resources for investigative agencies like OSHA and Wage and Hour. And so the reality is there are far more work sites than there are inspectors. And so when we can have inspection near in time to an accident, it's really important and helpful for our case.
Okay, I saw they've gotten them to plead guilty to a Class A misdemeanor.
That's
How
correct.
do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's adequate?
Well, what is most important for us and what we heard continuously from the family during this process is they wanted to make sure that there were safeguards in place to ensure that this didn't happen again. And the agreement that we've reached will require the company to ensure that everyone who works for them has basic OSHA safety training, that there's heightened training for supervisors, that they have specific training for trenching, which is what was taking place when this accident occurred, and that there will be an independent monitor who has access to their work sites over the course of the next 12 months and who can give us a report every month. So there will be eyes on this company, and there will be steps taken to make sure that they're doing right by their workers.
Do you feel like what this company did was out of the ordinary, or do you feel like it's happening more often than we might think?
Oh, I think it happens way more often than we might think. I think over the last 10 years, there have been somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 deaths in trench collapses. This is a risk that has been known to us for decades that is completely preventable. And so, the message that we hope that companies here in Travis County receive from this is that we hope they enjoy doing business in Travis County and all of the things that make this a wonderful community. And we hope they understand that they have a responsibility to follow the law and to keep their workers safe. And if they do not, there will be consequences.
Do you feel like it's kind of typically a cost-cutting measure, just not doing everything by the book?
I think that can be it sometimes, but that is why it's important to us to make sure that companies know that this has to be a priority, that their workers are more important than their profits. And so we're going to continue to send that message here in Travis County.
Okay. What's going to happen with the superintendent now? I know there was an individual charged as well.
That's correct. His case is still pending, and so we're just going to have to let this process play out, and hopefully we will be resolving that case soon. But for now, we're really focused on the conduct of the company and doing our best to make sure that they are building a culture that values safety and values their workers.
How unusual is it to go after a company as opposed to an individual?
It is a rare thing. I think here in Travis County, this is the first time that a company has been prosecuted for this kind of crime in almost 30 years. There was good precedent set by our former county attorney, Ken Oden. And so in many ways, we are keeping the work going that he started. And I think hoping to remind people and reinforce that Travis County is a place that values work, where we understand that there is dignity in all work and that every worker is entitled to dignity and justice on the job.
Absolutely. I was going to talk about that, first time since the 1990s. And is that because of limited resources, how hard it is to prosecute, how much you might need OSHA's involvement? Is it all those things?
It is, but it is also a matter of priorities. Every prosecutor's office across the state and country has limited resources, and we have to make sure that our resources match the values of our community and the desires of our community, the aspirations that our community has to be safe. Our community has made clear that they want us to prioritize working people and holding accountable companies that put working people in danger. You may be aware that in 2021, our office started an economic justice and enforcement initiative to make sure that we are doing right by people who work in Travis County. It's what our community has called on us to do, and we're going to continue to do that.
I know, and especially in a case like this, I mean, it's just so horrific. Wow, yeah. All right, I understand that if they do comply with everything, and it's quite a list of things they have to do, no fines are going to be sought in this case.
Well, we will. We have made a commitment that if they do what they've said they're going to do, if they hold up their end of the bargain, that we will not pursue the significant kinds of fines that are available to us under the statute once the term is over. So we'll be watching closely. There's a lot of work that the company has to do, and we're hopeful that they're going to take this seriously.
You don't think the fines would send an even stronger message?
Well, what is most important to us are the people who are working on those job sites as we speak. As the summer comes to a close and as the work continues, we have to do everything we can to make sure that those workers are safe and that there is a culture of safety on the job for this company and for all companies here in Travis County. So that's our highest priority.
Do you really think this could be a precedent that maybe other companies will look at and take seriously?
I certainly hope so. I think the agreement that we have reached is unique because it gives us unprecedented insight and control over the safety environment and safety culture on this company. I'm hopeful that prosecutors across the state and across the country will see this as a way to make sure that companies are complying and valuing the safety of their workers.
And essentially, kind of boil it down, what is the company admitting that it did?
Well, they're admitting that they committed a crime that resulted in the injury of a worker. We know that ultimately that worker did not survive his injuries, and the best way that we can think to honor him is to make sure that there is accountability and a plan for safety going forward.
Okay. And I think you think the key thing there is the training, of course, and then the oversight.
Absolutely. The oversight is key. As we talked about earlier, there simply are not enough inspectors for all of the work sites that exist in Travis County. And with this agreement, we can make sure that there will be constant and consistent monitoring of this company and of their work sites.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want to add anything we haven't talked about?
No, again, I just want to say how sorry we are for the Galvan Batalla family. I can't imagine how difficult this has been for them, and I hope that our outcome helps to bring them some peace as they continue their healing journey.
And maybe something to help people put it in perspective. Do you have similar cases or similar issues that have come up, maybe a death or an injury that from work sites that
Right.
that they're still pending?
Yeah, the most common kind of case that we see in this area are cases in which employers are accused of stealing wages from their workers. We have a number of those cases pending, and our relationship with OSHA and the Department of Labor remains strong and intact, and so we are ready and available if there are more cases that they want or need to refer our way.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.